Howdy, gamers. What are you doing in my house? Just kidding. I'm the one who walked in here with the microphone. You knew what you're getting into when you clicked on this video. We're here to read a Reddit story because I can think of nothing else to do for a video, and I like reading Reddit stories and watching the YouTubers that read them. So I figured, hey, why not me, the guy with intense dyslexia, try reading a story for you. Pay attention if you can. If not, here's Subway Surfers. That's enough, Subway Surfers. We're gonna work on your attention span. Pay attention, focus up. Here we go. Time for a story. Time to judge someone, all right? Let's get with it. I'm just kidding. Do what you want to do. I'll be here reading. Enjoy. Now, this Reddit story is pretty popular. You've probably heard it before, and that's okay if you have. Now you get to hear my opinion on it. Ain't that something? This is a story from Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for blowing up at my girlfriend after therapy backfired? Buckle up. My 28-year-old male, girlfriend Emma, 27-year-old female, and I have been together for 6 years. Most of that time we've been happy. Like, really happy. The kind of relationship people say just works, you know? We've always been on the same page, rarely fought, and genuinely enjoyed each other's company. But over the past year, things started to feel different. Small arguments here and there, more miscommunication, just weird sense that we aren't in sync as we used to be. Wasn't anything major, just the usual wear and tear stuff, or so I thought. Emma, however, seemed to be more concerned. She started to point out issues that I wasn't even aware of, like how I supposedly wasn't listening enough or wasn't emotionally available as I used to be. I admit I've been busy with work, but I thought we were doing okay. Still, I didn't want to dismiss her feelings. Very valid on you, dude. You think you're doing it right, but your partner says it's not, and inside you feel guilty because you feel like you haven't been paying enough attention or you haven't been doing enough to meet her needs. So what do? Like me, I started asking, what can I do? What do I want to do? You start asking questions, but they did mention there was a lack of communication. Communication is key every time. Then about 6 months ago, she suggested. That is hard. Now, I've always been a bit skeptical about therapy unless things are really bad. But I agreed because I figured it couldn't hurt. She said she found a great therapist through a friend, and we should give it a shot. I wasn't familiar with this Lily, but Emma was excited about it, so we booked our first session. At first, the session seemed fine. Lily asked good questions, got us to open up, and gave us some tools to communicate better. I feel like I was doing my best to listen and improve, but something about it felt a little off. Every time we talked about any issue, it seemed like Lily was always subtly siding with Emma. If I mentioned being stressed at work, she'd steer the conversation toward how I wasn't giving enough attention to Emma. And if I brought up a disagreement, somehow it became about my communication issues. I'll save my thoughts for a little bit later, but that comment alone makes me... We'll get to it. Hang tight, we'll get to it. After a few weeks, Emma started using phrases like, Lily thinks you should try this, or Lily says you need to work on that. I felt like everything I did was being scrutinized and dissected by this woman I barely knew. I didn't want to be paranoid, but it seemed like Lily was slowly convincing Emma that I was the problem in the relationship, and every time I tried to voice my own concerns, they were brushed aside. I tried to push through it, thinking maybe I was just being defensive, but it didn't stop. Every session, the same dynamic. It was Lily planting a seed of doubt in Emma's head, and Emma was running with them. I even started to wonder if maybe I was the problem. Was I actually this bad of a partner? I'm gonna tell you right now, probably not. And I mean, if you're given this much from your partner and a therapist that is supposedly supposed to be working for the best of both of you, you'd think that bringing up an issue would be a good thing in therapy. But if you're feeling stuck even with therapy, I think it's a totally reasonable excuse to start feeling paranoid. Like, am I really this bad of a person? Am I this delusional that I don't even recognize that I'm doing something wrong? And I understand that paranoia. Let's keep reading. Things reached a boiling point a couple of weeks ago. During a session, Lily started suggesting that maybe we should consider a break so I could work on myself more. That felt like a slap in the face. I've been trying so hard to be better, and now she was suggesting we split up? I looked at Emma, waiting for her to disagree or defend me, but she just sat there, quietly nodding along. After that session, I couldn't hold it anymore. I blew up at Emma when we got home. I told her I didn't trust Lily's judgment, that it felt like she was just feeding Emma's responses to blame me for everything wrong in our relationship over the years. Emma even got defensive, saying I was overreacting, that Lily was just trying to help us work through our issues. We didn't talk for a few days. I started feeling guilty for snapping. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe therapy really was exposing some flaws I needed to work on. But then something happened that blew everything wide open. I don't think y'all are ready for the twist here, so it makes your blood boil, and I'll just buckle the fuck up. Last week, we went to a mutual friend's party. While there, I overheard Emma and her friend Sarah talking in the corner, giggling about something. I caught just a bit of their conversation. I can't believe you pulled it off for this long. Poor guy still thinks she's an actual therapist. What the fuck? I immediately confronted them, as you should. That's when Emma's face turned pale. Sarah quickly tried to backtrack, but the truth spilled out. Turns out, Lily isn't even a licensed therapist at all. She's one of Emma's close friends from college, who thought it'd be fun to help Emma fix me by posing as a therapist. Emma had set this whole thing up because she thought I wouldn't agree to therapy otherwise. Communication is key. They figured that with Lily playing the part, they could guide me into becoming a better boyfriend without me knowing. I felt completely betrayed. As you should. Holy shit. Not to mention, is that completely earth-shattering to know that you've been duped your entire therapy session into thinking you're a bad person? I'm pretty sure posing as a therapist is illegal, at least in America or in most of the states. For months, I have been spilling my heart out to someone that hasn't even been qualified to help me, or Emma. And they have been in on it together the entire time. All those sessions where I felt attacked and manipulated suddenly made sense, because I was being manipulated. When I confronted Emma about how messed up this was, she broke down, saying she never meant to hurt me, and that she just wanted to help us grow as a couple. But honestly, I don't know how to move past this. I haven't been able to look at her the same since. Now, Emma and her friend are saying I overreacted, that it was just a white lie meant to help our relationship. But I feel like I've been gaslit and lied to for months. So am I the asshole for finding out that our therapist was a total fraud? Absolutely not. You are absolutely justified and not the asshole. Back to the center of the screen here. The reason I wanted to read this one is because it relates to me very personally. It's been about 2 years since I left a very similar type of relationship. Not that they faked being a therapist or anything, but just a lot of manipulation and gaslighting into thinking that I was the problem. And I'm not a perfect person. I did a lot of stupid things and made mistakes along the way, as anyone else does. I've always done my best to try and own those mistakes when they happen, because if you keep dodging the fact that you're making a mistake, you're going to continue to make that mistake and hurt more people around you. When you are, and especially for this guy, you definitely just, and I know it's an older post, I'm sure they're broken up at this point, because if anything, you can file charges against this woman for faking a therapy session, pretending to be basically a doctor or a medical professional. That's a crime. You can go to jail for that. And if that's the path you want to go, you definitely have more than enough evidence to put both of them, or at least sue them. Emotional manipulation and damage, 100%. Like I said, communication is key. This guy was like, I think we're good. I don't think we need to go to therapy, but I'll do it because I care about my partner. Even if he didn't fully agree to go, he still just didn't put up a fight. He's saying, this is something my partner wants to do and thinks it'd be good for us. Okay, I trust them because I care about them. Typically, people you care about also have your best interest at heart. It's a very similar to a narcissistic partner. This partner wanted to fix them. So what I've learned being in a similar type of very manipulative and gaslighty situation, that person thinks that they're probably in the right for their relationship. They wanted to fix their partner to help meet a goal in their own mind, because if it fits with her agenda, That's everyone's agenda. It's her idea is the right way, and nobody can change that. It's hard to kind of put into words what I'm trying to say here. These people aren't, I mean, I can't speak for all of them. I think some of them are malicious. Most of these type of people don't think they're in the wrong. They absolutely 100% believe that what they're doing is justified. And if they have to hurt you to meet that end, that's okay, because why are you complaining? We got the result I wanted. You should be happy now. See how fucked up that sounds? So I'll say this to whoever's watching at this point and whoever's listening. If you're in a type of relationship where asking questions about a problem is the problem, or just basically asking what is wrong, and that simple act of asking what is wrong, and you're met with the response of, you should already know, I can't believe you don't know, or something along those lines, that person doesn't know what they want. Or they're just fucking with you because you're actively trying to solve the problem that is upsetting them that you think you've caused, but they can't even tell you what it is. And you're there trying to fix it. That's manipulation and gaslighting to a T, my friend. And the reason I say this with such authority is because I've lived it for about 14 years. And thank God I am no longer in it. And I'm in a much healthier spot because of it. I wish I didn't have to learn all of these factoids or look for the signs of a narcissistic person. But that's why this story really resonated with me, because that what this guy went through is extreme. However, Emma and Lily are very good examples of a narcissistic family or a partner. People that want to change you to fit their agenda. Well, thank you for coming to Nick's Reddit Preach Corner. Reading this is actually a very cathartic experience for me, kind of getting out the knowledge I've learned from the trauma I've experienced, unfortunately. Luckily, I'm in a fantastic spot mentally now, and with lots of therapy from a licensed therapist, whether that be online or in person, finding someone to talk about your feelings just to make sure that you're not crazy is very important. Whether that's a therapist or a good friend that leads to a therapist, get that the resources are there. And they are there to help you realize that asking questions and actively and openly communicating your emotions is not a problem. When you present those emotions and those questions genuinely and with full sincerity, that should not be presented as an issue. It should be a green flag, something that shows that your partner is actively self-analyzing, recognizing their emotions, and wanting to improve. Asking questions and learning is the sign of an intelligent and good person, similar to parenting, similar to just learning a new subject or a new skill. You're always learning. And that's true to any relationship. You're always learning. If you feel like you've learned enough, maybe keep trying to learn some more. Maybe just don't close your mind. Don't close your mind off. Be open to new experiences, but also recognize what makes you uncomfortable and stick up for yourself. Because if you feel like something's wrong, it's not a problem to ask why. It's not. I got very preachy at the end here, but I've lived a lot of experiences and I have a lot of advice to give, whether it's warranted or not. Feel free to take anything I say with a grain of salt. That's of personal experiences I've had relating to some Reddit story that I hope you enjoyed. Link in the description to the full story if there's any updates or more things similarly to these types of stories. Let me know in the comments below. Please subscribe. I am trying to make more videos. However, right when I started ramping up a bunch of projects I had, my computer just decided to brick on me, and I'm in the process of getting a new one. So I'm editing this from an iPad. Thanks, LumaFusion. I hope you work after I film this. Not so happy-go-lucky episode this time, but I wanted to talk about it. These types of relationships and issues should be talked about. And they don't always have to be doom and gloom, even though they definitely are situations that can be doom and gloom. Just approaching it in a way that's healthy and positive. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and please like me, because if you don't like me, I'll be very self-conscious because I have to have everybody like me or I won't feel satisfied in anything. I'm kidding. Please like me. Well, bye.